Give a couple tips and tricks that I use if I'm doing something that's repetitive to make it not seem super repetitive. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of people live within the 2 to 4 bar, sometimes 8 bar loops. And while there's nothing wrong with a loop at all, sometimes it can get pretty repetitive to the point where if it's playing the whole song, the listener can get ear fatigue to some degree after a while. And almost like they tune it out to where they don't even really hear it because it's just so repetitive. And again, I get it. A lot of music is repetitive, and that may be the way you want it. But if that's not the case and you don't want it to be so repetitive, I have 3 things that I use personally that help me to keep it less repetitive. Now, the first one is going to be the most obvious way to do it, and that's play as much as you can. So I always tell people to get out of the 2 to 8 bar loop, you got to play for 16, or you got to learn to play for 24 or 32 or whatever. You just need to play more bars. Another thing to do is, even if you're going to play 4 bars or 2 bars or 8 bars, actually play the bars. In other words, don't draw in a 2 bar loop. You can do it, but I feel like it still stays pretty repetitive, and it lacks something in it sometimes when you do it that way. Again, there's no right or wrong. This is just my opinion and what I feel can make, the music sound a little more played and less drawn in, I guess you might say. And again, nothing wrong with drawing in something if that's what you want to do. Ableton has a couple features. I know Logic has some of these features too, where you can humanize things, right? I know the MPC has it. There's a few other boxes and stuff out there that have it in software. But you can use this deviation tool in Ableton. And if you highlight all the notes and you make a 4-bar loop like I have here, highlight all the notes by clicking into one, highlight them, and you'll see there's a slight deviation right here. Now that deviation means every time it plays, it's going to play a little bit. It's going to play from where I hit it, the velocity I hit it at, down a little bit. 14 possible ticks or whatever you want to call that velocity hits down. Okay, so that means that this 4-bar now, when I expand it out, is going to have some variation. But I also like to do one more thing, and that is turn the humanization down to about 3.9 or less, depending on what you want, and just click it. Click it one time. Go to the next one and do the same thing. Right? Now with this humanization thing, if you click, so once you do the 14, then you want to duplicate them. Okay, so let's say you want to duplicate all the way out here. Then when you do the next part, you need to actually click each one. So if you go in and humanize one, that's great for that one, but it's going to be the same on the next one, right? If you just keep duplicating. So the way to work around that is go in to each one. Again, select them all, click the humanization, and then go into the next one, select all, same principle. Keep doing that till you get, now I'm not editing here, so I'm just going to do it. It won't take that long because I'm only going to click it once for each one. So do it here. And if you really want to adjust the humanization, you could always adjust it just a hair bit here so that it's a little different. That actually can help. So you can do maybe this one you want to do here. Or maybe you want to click it a couple times to vary it up a little bit. Select all. Oops. I don't even remember which one we're on. Humanize. Go here. Maybe this one you want to do it a little less. the goal here is to move these just a little bit so that every time it plays, there you go. Now it's going to play a little different. Now that might sound tedious, so I encourage you to play, obviously, if you can. Play it multiple times until you get it, and then you'll have your variation. But if you're not going to do that and you're going to be like, just, I'm going to do 4 bars, and you want to get that slight humanization in it, then use the humanization button. Now, if you're in a thing like Koala, you don't have a humanized button, but you do have the ability to set the notes, highlight the notes and set them to free, and then slightly offset them off the grid. So you could do that. You can make yourself a couple copies, slightly offset them off the grid, and then just adjust them accordingly. Let's go to this one. I'm going to do this one again just to give it something different. And so you can do it a couple times till you get it where you want it. Now, this guitar is pretty repetitive too. I've already done the deviation on all of them, so that works great. But I didn't do the humanization, so I'm going to do that just real quick with that, just to show you again. We're selecting all, slightly adjust the humanization, click it, done. Move on, and if you want, you could do that, and then skip one, and then just go. Right, go humanization there. Maybe skip another one. Select all. That way every other one is slightly different there. And then it goes pretty quick. Then go back to a couple of them and adjust them again. Maybe not that much, but there you go. Humanize that one. Select all. Let's go with this one actually. Select all. Nice, a little different here. Select all. We're going to change it a little bit. Like that. Humanize. And then the last one. Now what I did, here's another trick too. If this is your last one, maybe add an extra note or something on it to the end so that it just sounds a little different. So right here. Just that one note on the end, just change so it doesn't sound exactly like these, or like how I did at the beginning. I'll show you. Up here, I totally have a different, let me do this. Totally have a different set of, I mean, it's the same chords, but the melody and the way I played it is a little different. So I played this one separate from this one. All of these are the same. So that's why I did that humanization thing on them, right? So this one. This is where it gets repetitive. Another thing you can do is, where's the strong? I have a lot of reverb going on that thing, by the way. Another thing you can do, in fact, I got 2 reverbs here. I'll show you real quick. A space modulator, supermassive reverb, and the delay. So you're getting a bit of everything. Another thing is, like I said, putting something at the beginning that's a little different at the end. People tend to remember what's the start and the end of a song if they don't remember anything else. Obviously the hook and all that, but they will remember how you finish it and how you start it. So keep that in mind when you're making songs. And dropouts, also that works. If you're going to put drums in your songs, have some dropouts for the drums to help keep down on ear fatigue of listening to a song too long. Now my songs are shorter, typically anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes maximum. So if you're going to do short songs like that, the listener may be okay and not get so tired. That's why pop songs are so easy to listen to. Outside of the catchy rhythms, they usually are no more than 3.5 minutes to 4 minutes max. And that keeps the listener engaged, because just by the time they get really into the song, it ends. So they have to go back and listen to it. And that's how you get those repeats of songs keep playing over and over, because they aren't that long anyway. All right, so going back to what we were talking about. So I said 3 tips. So the first one was play as much as you can. The second one was what I just showed you. Going in, taking a repetitive 4-bar and adjusting the deviation, which is just basically the velocity of each one so that it plays slightly different. The other one is to use a humanization feature within the DAW itself, if you can, which is all it's doing is nudging the note a little bit, right? It's moving the note either forwards or backwards a little bit. That's all it's doing. Okay, and then what was the last one? Let me make sure my brain didn't forget it. The last thing we're talking about, making sure that the song doesn't sound repetitive. I basically told it to you, but that's doing dropouts with your drums. You can do this too with your guitars and bass or whatever you have going on by just dragging the end. So maybe you want to drop a bar out. So you've heard the song repetitively going. And then this particular bar, you want to drop out just the guitar. Now that sounds, you got to be careful for those little notes that hang or that start at an awkward spot, which you can kind of see them this way. If you're going to do this, you have to make sure you delete those or it'll click and it sounds off. So just keep that in mind if that's what you're going to do. I'm not going to do that with this song, but if I were going to do that and drop a bar out, make sure you capture everything within that bar. And one easy way to do that is, instead of dragging it, just go into the actual clip and then just erase everything in there. If you're on Koala, you definitely have to go inside of the grid and drop it, because there pretty much isn't any other way, unless you do a live mute. And you could do that, I think, in MPC. You could do live mutes, if I'm not mistaken. So that is what I got for you on this video. Just simple stuff to make your music sound more lively, more real, like you played it. That's the key, is you want people to think that you played it all the way through, even if you didn't. And not everybody is a player, as far as like pianists or guitarists or bassists or whatever. And that's okay if you don't play all those instruments, but at least you can make people feel like you play them by the way, using these different tips and techniques that can help enhance your music a little bit better. I don't know why this thing wants to keep putting C majors. It's not C major. This would be Dorian. All right. But anyway, all right. That's it for this video. I'll see you on the